UN news.
I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this because, again, I just want to kind of keep it here as, just another way. You know how in the EU basically say fuck Israel? I'm basically going to say fuck the Democrats too, because it's just kind of like, I want you guys, look, you guys are smart. You guys probably think the way that I do, but anyone who's kind of watching this, as a segment or as a clip, once we clip it out, and if it ever makes it big or whatever, I highly doubt it. But who knows? But I just want to be on the record to be sorry, because funny enough, I feel like a lot of people think that I am conservative because I'm like, no, like
labels are bad. You'll know this works,
right? But like, no, like I am neither party,
at this point,
neither side. Yeah,
they
like
mean
I'm
nothing.
against government. So as it's currently working right now,
yeah.
but like it's just for me the idea of like Democrats are less bad, but we can tolerate what they do. So, which, as you said, is kind of like an abusive situation. It's like going from the extremely abusive boyfriend to the one that gaslights you. He may not hit you, but he will gaslight you into submission.
Illusion of choice.
But because he's not right, so it's essentially because he's not hitting you, that person is seemingly the better choice. Which is like, no, both are bad. So, but this is just one example, one of many, of how Democrats, once again, are to the right of where their voters, their constituents are. And again, I know you don't like Truthout, but we do like Michael Arria somewhat. And I think he's over at
Mondoweiss.
In Mondoweiss as well. So not totally bad, but I think it's very general anyway.
Well, this is more like, I feel like it's more just receipt keeping,
Yes.
It's like,
which is exactly what I want. This is exactly what I want when we clip it, the segment to be like receipts. Like just so we're able to say, and again, you guys probably know, if you guys have been around us a while, know kind of where we stand on many of these issues anyway. But and for anyone new who might be watching this after, like kind of where we stand. But as Michael Arria reports, the DNC vote on Israel arms embargo may set Democratic Party course on Palestine. At its summer meeting, the Democratic National Committee will vote on two rival resolutions concerning Gaza. So basically, just to clarify, a resolution is basically nothing more than
a letter, to a promise. Maybe we'll do something. Yeah,
right. So it's not policy per se, but it's just where they stand, like politically. Whoa!
Why is that all white?
I'm not seeing
weird.
White.
Here, I'll fix it. Sometimes it does that with certain slides. Yep. I can just also do
read
this.
it from, because I have another window open.
Yeah.
So worst comes to worst.
Cool.
I'll read it. I'll read it anyway while you work on that. So within the article, and again, all of our articles, just to be completely transparent, if you want to read them yourself, are in the description below. There we go. So during its summer meeting next week in Minneapolis, the DNC will vote on two competing resolutions connected to Israel and Gaza. Resolution 18 calls for recognition of a Palestine state, which a lot of countries are doing, and we probably should talk about, well, that's bullshit.
Well, it's a separate state.
A ceasefire.
That's a two-state.
A ceasefire, an arms embargo, and a suspension of military aid to Israel.
Yeah.
Resolution 3, which was
delay the problem at best. But continue.
Right. Resolution 3, which was introduced in response to Resolution 18, simply calls for a ceasefire in the region and the release of the Israeli hostages. The counter effort is backed by pro-Israel officials within the party. Duh.
Of course it does. But here.
Move.
Yeah, it's not on yours. Hold on. Now it is. And then I bring it back. You might have went too far.
Why I'm seeing, I might explain why I'm seeing slide.
Like it's saying on my end, weird. No slides. Yeah.
So anyway, the dueling measures highlight the ongoing fight over Israel within the Democratic Party, which has further intensified as a result of the genocide in Gaza. In a statement, Democratic Majority for Israel President and CEO Ryan Romick said he was deeply troubled by Resolution 18 and warned that it will sow division. Should it advance, it will further divide our party, provide a gift to Republicans, and send a signal that will embolden Israel's adversaries, said Romick. As we get closer to midterms, Democrats need to be united. Can you zoom in, Reef?
Yeah, I can do that.
Thank you. Not continuing inter-party fights that don't get us closer to taking back Congress. Polling shows that Democratic voters are not divided on the issue of Israel. A vast majority of them, believe from what I know, is around 80%, now oppose the country's actions in Gaza and wants the U.S. government to stop supporting the genocide. A June Quinnipiac poll found that just 12% of Democratic voters sympathize more with Israelis than Palestinians. A July Gallup survey found that just 8% of Democratic voters support Israel's militaries in Gaza, while only 9% of Democrats have a favorable view of Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. Jane Zobi is a co-founder of the Arab American Institute and was on the DNC's executive committee for 16 years. Resolution 3 is recycled Biden platform language that was bad then and worse now. Zobi told Mondoweiss. Resolution 18 tracks exactly where the Democrats are today. The polls are clear, and so is the movement. Our voters are based. They are saying that they do not want U.S. dollars to enable further death and starvation anywhere across the world, particularly in Gaza. Allison Minerly, the 26-year-old DNC member who is sponsoring the resolution, told The Intercept.
I
don't think it should be a hard decision for us to say that clearly. Although the Democratic base has shifted on Israel, lawmakers have largely stayed put, and we've seen that with, fill in the blank, Hakeem Jeffries for one,
plenty of them are trying to pander now.
Right. However, there has been some notable movement in recent weeks. In July, Senator Bernie Sanders introduced 2 resolutions aimed at blocking arms sales to Israel, an effort that he already spearheaded 2 times before. The measures failed again, but 27 senators voted in favor of this legislation, the highest number yet. Only 27, when it really should be basically every Democrat. But
everybody, right.
Moving on. Since the vote, several representatives have indicated that they would support such measures in the House. This includes 2 Congress members who were backed by AIPAC in the primaries, Representative Maxine Dexter and Valerie Touche. Many believe that Gaza will emerge as a litmus test in the upcoming midterms, but the battle is already playing out within the party. Earlier this month, a pro-Israel California Democratic Party official attempted to push a bylaw that would have prohibited state parties from mentioning genocide, ethnic cleansing, or apartheid.
Just cause we want to throw that in there.
So free speech.
Yeah,
that's what it sounds like to me.
Mm-hmm.
And we're talking about Republicans being against free speech allegedly. So I don't know what that is. Anyway, after Virginia delegate Sam Rasool, whose family was displaced by Israel, made an Instagram post criticizing Zionism, he was attacked by local Democratic politicians.
Come on.
This week, protesters interrupted a town hall being held by Representative Wesley Bell, who is the person that was brought up by AIPAC to beat Cori Bush, over his support for Israel and connection to AIPAC. Activists also disrupted an event being held by AIPAC-backed House Minority Whip Catherine Clark, who seemingly acknowledged that Israel was committing a genocide in her response. But days later, Clark walked the comment back. I guess the money spoke, so to speak. Last week, while attending an event in my district, I repeated the word genocide in response to a question. I want to be clear that I am not accusing Israel of genocide, said Clark.
Why not?
In a statement.
You fucking asshole.
Zobi said politicians like Clark and party operatives remain pro-Israel as a result of willed ignorance. No, that's too nice. No, they're bots.
Yeah.
Like, they're not ignorant at all. They're bots. So, yeah. The political equation still works against us because of money, fear, and habit, he explained. It's a comfortable place to be for party operatives and many elected members, but if this resolution doesn't pass, there'll be a lot of upset people in the party. Like who he's mentioning there, I wonder. But again, I wanted this to be a quick and somewhat throwaway segment, but again, just to kind of show you guys, again, you guys, I feel like I'm preaching to the choir, but it's just, again, like Democrats are not any better. If anything, I argue that, and people were going to say everything but a child of God to me in regarding this. I don't give a shit. Like, probably are in a lot of ways are worse than Republicans in terms of, you know, being against their constituents in the most underhanded way possible. And they'll do this in the light of, oh, we want to protect human rights and oh, we care about all people and all that bullshit, but they really don't. Well, I'll argue, yeah, probably all of them, if not most of them, really don't, but they put on the veneer of I
don't care about you, I just want your vote.
Yeah. So they put on the veneer of, you know, all about protecting people and caring for the working class or whatever when they really don't. But we saw this like with the idea for Medicare for all, universal healthcare. Like overwhelmingly, Democrat constituents were in favor of it during the pandemic. And Democrats, did they do anything to kind of get us even closer to having universal healthcare in this country? No. So, and I think it's funny now because like I'm seeing a lot of influencers now because initially this is kind of shift the even Democratic like the K-Hive, I guess mostly influencers were making initially, like when Kamala was running, they were like, vote for Kamala or you're stupid, you know, or you're just a Trump supporter. But then when it came like in terms of, they weren't talking about Israel-Gaza issue at all. But then when it came closer to the election, they were like, yeah, we understand, just vote for her. And then we can push her into what you want, just vote for her, you know? And now it's like, I see, as I keep saying, they're liberalizing it. And I think I said this to you, where I saw an influencer say like, you know, they acknowledge, obviously it's Trump, so it's easier to acknowledge the shit that's going down. But especially when it comes to Gaza, it's the idea of like, well, we have to be mindful of what's happening in this country first before we are concerned about the needs of people in Gaza, which you said correctly, that sounds like an America first mentality. Where my thing is, you know, you can care, like, it shouldn't be either or. Like, it should be all of it, especially how, as you say, like with geopolitics, how it often, not often, always connects back to how it affects us here. So, you know, so the idea that now it seems like the talking point is, like we have. Well, actually, it's funny that they actually mentioned, oh, we need to care about these things here. So why haven't the Democrats done the shit that you're saying that they need to care about now,
meanwhile,
when they had the opportunity to do
they
it
can say
for
that
the
shit.
past 4 years and they didn't get to do it?
They're not even, dude. We've been sending them fucking gazillions of dollars worth of armaments the entire time. So you can't say that we're ignoring it when we're not ignoring it. We're aiding and abetting this genocide. Like, and I used to think there's the other thing I've seen was like, well, we can't police the world. And it's like, first of all, we're paying some other mall cop to police it. Like, we're giving the arms to Israel, so we're doing neither, right? Like, but that's all based off this, like, idea that, the terrorists are still terrorists, even though they're probably not. They're probably just trying to protect their homeland from, imperialist powers at this point, So we know where the real terrorists are, so, and no one's policing that shit. Anyway, not to get off on a tangent too much, but
I think it's just, once again, time and time again, Democrats are to the right of their voters, and they try their best to kind of say, oh, we're not going to give you what you want, but here's the middle ground where we'll do a little bit of what you want, but not really. And it's like, because we know better, and you guys are fucking stupid. Like, and you don't know the full situation of why we can do certain things. And it's just kind of like, well, essentially we voted, well, not us, but like people voted for you with the idea that you were going to do the very things that you claim that you care about. But yeah, I just think it's very, I mean, again, I really didn't want to talk about this story, but I think it's just kind of, once again, just kind of show guys, like, as you keep saying, and we keep saying here, like, electoral politics is not going to work in the environment that we're in right now. Like, we need to do something different, and we need to work from the outside in order to get potentially the changes that we want. So, but yeah, I just think it's kind of, it's just depressing, that they're seeing what we're seeing, and yet they're still kind of like, Democratic politicians are just kind of like, meh, like, we don't have to do necessarily anything. Like, a strongly worded letter just to give the illusion that we care is all that we need to do. But yeah, I do agree that I feel like, and well, how this is going to play out, it'll be very interesting to see come next year. But, if this conflict continues, then it's going to be very interesting to see how firm these Democrat politicians remain if this continues to happen, and what will happen in terms of their seats or their positions if their constituents basically are like, fuck y'all, we're not going to vote for you. I'm not sure it's going to happen to the degree that I would like it to. But I'm still curious to see how, as long as this conflict continues, how it potentially might shake up things within government. So only time will tell.
Yep. I'm with you. Yay. We did it.
Scan the QR code to talk about stories like these. Honestly, YouTube should probably pay us for that, because I feel that's kind of favorable to them. But regardless, if you want to support us financially to help us talk about stories like these, scan the QR code you see at your screen there. We can type in the Ko-fi link that you see at the bottom of your screen, or if you're in YouTube chat, type in !! donate, all one word, to go to the link directly, or if you want to give to us via PayPal, Substack, and Cash App, you can go to the description below for those links. And as we always say, we thank you guys for watching. And in order to help us grow, don't forget to like and subscribe. And please share our links, share our content to help fight this depression that we leave on YouTube. And make sure you leave a comment. Allegedly, that also helps. I'm not sure if it's going to help us, but I still want to know what you think anyway. Do you really believe like, your opinion, is it really that crazy to believe that Democrat leadership and politicians are more often than not to the right of the constituents in terms of the change that I would argue many of us would want to see in our government, in our policies today?
Who are these people?
And speaking of, thank you, Accord Lord, for the $10. We appreciate you and we love you. And thanks for watching.